Friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you want high-speed internet at your house, call Wire for USA and get HughesNet. HughesNet is high-speed satellite internet, a super-fast instant internet connection that's available right now wherever you live. You'll get faster web access, faster browsing, and faster downloads. HughesNet is from Hughes, an industry leader with more than 1.5 million systems installed worldwide. Call Wire for USA today at 605-343-3806 and learn how to order HughesNet from your local business partner. Stop waiting. Order HughesNet, America's #1 choice for high-speed satellite internet. Visit Wire for USA in Rapid City or call 605-343-3806 now and get super-fast internet access at your house no matter where you live. The future is Wire for USA with HughesNet. Local business, local service with a smile.
Customer service and knowledge. You expect it, and we provide it. As a general insurance agency, Fisher Rounds & Associates has aligned itself with the nation's strongest carrier networks, giving you the highest quality coverage at the best possible price. When it comes to claims or other issues, we handle everything so you don't have to. That's what we mean when we say we're at your service and at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, proudly serving South Dakota with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports! And here's what you need to know.
The first court hearing for New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara has been pushed back from this afternoon to March 8th. Kamara was arrested Sunday on a charge of battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. A police report says that the male victim suffered a broken orbital bone in an altercation with Kamara and 3 of Kamara's associates at a club at 6:30 Saturday morning. The report alleges that the victim was punched 8 times by Kamara and that Kamara and 3 of his associates stomped on the man a total of 23 times. Multiple outlets report that the Houston Texans are hiring Lovie Smith as their new head coach. Smith served as the Texans' defensive coordinator and associate head coach last season. And an NFL examination of injury data has found that punts and kickoffs cause disproportionately more injuries than any other types of plays. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host,
And a good Monday afternoon to you. We're ready to go, huh? How about it today? It's always a great day in the Black Hills when it's 60 on February 7th. We'll take it. Some outdoor activity today. Hope you're doing well. Back on a Monday. You know, when we start the week, it's always great to start on a day like today. We've got a quality guest lineup. I mean, top shelf stuff today. Right out of the gate, the Nate Brown Show is back on Fox Sports Rapid City, brought to you in part by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The expert team is at Black Hills Ortho when it comes to orthopedic care, and you need to stay in the game. They'll get you back in the game. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, more access, better options at Black Hills Ortho, now with urgent care as well. If you suffer an injury, bhosc.com. Learn more there. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center since 1976 in the Black Hills, specializing in what moves you. South Dakota Sports Talk Show jam-packed today, and we got you covered a lot of ways. High school, college, NFL. There's a lot to get to. Some youth sports discussions today. All right, we're going to get after it on Fox Sports Rapid City. Let's look at the guest lineup. Josh Pate's coming in today, college football analyst, one of the best. Late kick, Josh. You know Josh Pate, he's really, really got after the national scene here really this past year. We started getting him on quite a while ago before he got like big time, and now we just only get him every now and then. But I've got him today kicking off the week. 24/7 Sports national college football analyst, one of the best, Josh Pate, on the way. We got to discuss Michigan, Auburn. I mean, the list goes on. Josh Pate is on tap. Down to Denver, Doug Ottewell's going to chime in. The Broncos we're looking at, are they all in on trying to get Aaron Rodgers? Doug Ottewell, MileHighSports.com, live from Denver. We will go out to Super Bowl Radio Row. Blake Jewell is on tonight, national Bengals writer for Sports Illustrated. He's got the Bengals perspective as we do a little countdown to Super Bowl starting every day on this program. We'll get a guest from the Bengals side, the Rams side, kind of give you some insight from those beat writers. Sports Illustrated, SI.com, Bengals writer Blake Jewell's on tonight. Also, Thor Nystrom's in, college football NFL analyst, NBC Sports Edge, and longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls, Mike Henriksen, drops by the Monday show. How about that? Full lineup ready to go. The Nate Brown Show inviting you in, 720-1067, our number. The Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar Sportsline Live. You can contribute to the question of the day as well on the Barron's Wilson text line. Hit us up on the text line. Easy to do, 720-1067, 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay, now we're set and sunny in the Black Hills, and the Nate Brown Show is back on. I've got a lot to cover today, but I wanted to go to something to start the show. First things first, let's just get this out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. We don't need to discuss it too much. The Pro Bowl is a mess. The Pro Bowl is a mess. I mean, I was off this weekend, like no tournaments, none of that on the basketball side or soccer or any of that. Not too many family activities. So I was off, and I'm sitting here. I did not have an interest. I mean, I didn't have an inkling to even want to go to the Pro Bowl and sit there and watch hardly any of it. How much did I watch? I tuned in. I wanted to see, how are they doing the Pro Bowl this year in Vegas? How is it going this year? And it is a total mess. They're not tackling. They're not running. I mean, it's just terrible. It used to be fairly good. I mean, not like this. It used to be fairly good, and now it's just a mess. So I'm just here to tell you, today on a Monday, I don't think there's any fixing it. I think it's over. It will just continue to be a commercialized thing that fans want to, I think, go to live to see the players, just see the players, and then interact with fans and friends and the whole thing. So it's a destination thing. It's not a TV thing. It's not a football thing. It's nothing. When it comes to sports, there is no sports there yesterday in the Pro Bowl. There is no sports, and there's no fixing it. You can't fix it, right? There's no fixing it. So people just need to understand, it's not a TV thing. It's not a sports thing. It's not a competitive thing. It should just be produced by WWE. It should be produced by WWE. I mean, make it entertaining of some sort. Thanks for calling your live today, and you go ahead.
I had an idea in the Pro Bowl.
Oh, you do?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So one of my friends went to the Pro Bowl, and he wanted to see the stars, thought to get close, thought to get a handshake.
Yep.
My thought would be is they should have the stars go, and these stars should be available. Don't play in the game, just be marketing. But they should pick somebody in the league, some guy off a roster, practice roster, trying to get back in the league, and say, "This is my guy. I'm going to coach him. I'm going to be on the sidelines. I'm going to." For an example, somebody like the Kurt Warner story. I just went and watched that show.
Okay.
You know, if one of these stars picked a quarterback they thought was, man, he just needs a chance.
Somebody that's hungry.
Yeah, hungry,
right.
Needs a chance, never gets an opportunity. You know, they might find a diamond in the rough, one or two of these players that could play great but never get that opportunity.
So then you get the stars still there because that's why the fans go, and then you might get a competitive football game.
Yeah, and these guys that are trying to break in the league would surely heck try, and then you would get that one opportunity to say, hey, so-and-so star's walking on the sidelines. You might be able to see him, greet him. He'll be shaking hands. He'll be signing autographs.
I like that.
He would be on the side. Yeah, that's what I thought, too. So I actually sent a message to Mike and Mike one year and never got a response. But I thought that might be the only opportunity to save that game. Is
somehow you got to do something.
Oh,
I
it was so
appreciate
bad.
that.
I had to turn it off in the second half.
Oh,
but,
it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah, so,
Thanks,
yeah.
man. I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thanks for calling. I appreciate that. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. First time caller? Is that a first time caller with one of the great ideas on the Nate Brown Show? I don't know if I've talked to that guy or not, but that's a great idea, because there just needs to be out of the box ideas like that, because it's not a TV thing, it's not a competitive thing. That product is gone. That product is never coming back. It's gone. And we watch sports for competitiveness, for intrigue, for effort, for hits. That's why we watch football, right? And so I'm not with let's just make it two-hand touch. I mean, people say, let's just do a flag football thing, and so you still get a football game, but it's two-hand touch. Guess what? We're not watching that either. Why do we like contact football? We like contact. We like football. We don't sit here and watch flag football. So not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I thought about this. What about the fans that vote, okay? What about the fans that vote? They get thrown into a drawing that some of them get to play. What about that? I mean, I'm just thinking outside of the box, like, if you're that much into it and you want to be a part of the Pro Bowl festivities, get your name in there, and then you get a chance to maybe suit up or something. Just some fans pulled out, and they get to suit up, run some routes, carry the ball. Hopefully nobody dies, but that's another liability story for the insurance companies. I'm just trying to think. You remember the show, The Pros versus the Joes. Do you remember that show? It wasn't very long-lived, but you got to, like, guard Terrell Owens. You got to be a DB and guard Terrell Owens, things like that. Something like that, because it's over. The Pro Bowl's done. I watched 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. I think I timed myself. And then I was back to college basketball and vacuuming. What a Sunday. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's up?
The only thing worse than the NFL Pro Bowl is the NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's worse, because at least we're not used to, like, at least they still kind of make baskets, which is the premise. They don't play defense. I mean, they're both bad, but this might be the worst. I think it's the worst.
I think they should go to a flag game or something.
I still don't think it's interesting. I really don't. I mean, it's just a mess.
I said that facetiously. I think they just get rid of the game, because nobody wants to go all out and get hurt in a meaningless game.
No.
You know, at least in basketball, they're doing the same thing they do normally during the season, as far as, you know, shooting, and other than they don't play any defense. But I mean, as far offensively and kind of rebounding, that kind of stuff. But in football, it's a whole different thing in the All-Star game. So
yeah, you have to have contact.
Nobody's hitting.
Right.
You know, the linemen, are, blocking a little bit, but nobody wants to hurt anybody else either. They don't want to get hurt.
How about we do this? It's not the Pro Bowl anymore. This game is the last. The two teams with the worst records play each other for the first pick in the draft. Huh? How about that one? Just get rid of the Pro Bowl. I want to see a real game, one more real game in between the Super Bowl. I'd go with that.
Maybe we can go back, to 40, 50 years ago when the college All-Stars used to play the NFL, before the. I can't remember what time of year
that's
that game
on to
was.
that. Guys that are hungry, guys that are wanting to, do something. That's kind of down that road, right?
But that's the only direction I would go. Otherwise, it's just I didn't watch 1 minute of it.
Oh, it's unwatchable.
Good.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting in. I think, I did. I was kind of throwing that out there. I was like, hey, we want real football games. So how about that, NFL? Would they ever do it? Probably not. An extra game. So instead of tanking to try and get the first pick in the draft, well, we're going to pit the two teams against each other. Whoever wins it, then they get the first pick in the draft. Two worst teams in the NFL against each other. We just need something in between this Super Bowl week, because that's a mess, and it's gotten worse the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, really, really bad. They used to tackle. They used to kind of play and have some pride. Now it's just it's a total disaster on the Pro Bowl. So I think it's unfixable because of these outside-the-box ideas. The NFL's not going to go there. They're still making money because it gets televised. They had a sellout yesterday at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. So they're like, hey, we'll just go to Vegas. Who cares? We'll screw around in Vegas. We get to go see the Stars in the Pro Bowl. And so the live thing is, I don't think I'd ever go to it. I mean, I'd like to see NFL stars all in one place, too. I don't think I'd ever go to that because the game itself is a mockery. And I don't know if there's any fixing it because I don't think the NFL would take the appropriate steps to, well, should we do that? Well, what about that? I like the first caller's idea. Quick one here. A quick one on this. So I told you that I didn't have any youth sports this weekend, which is one of the weekends where I could have. You know, it's like not an NFL Sunday. We could have been playing here, playing there. It's an interesting statement that came out, though, because there were a lot of people that were at tournaments this weekend, basketball, wrestling, whatever it may be. And this is youth sports now. And there was an official. There's an official. He runs this website called Offside. And it's really to recruit more officials for games, to put out videos of officials being abused so that behavior stops. So this guy's a long-time official. And he has made a statement this weekend which caught my attention. And I said, I want to bring it to the Fox Sports Rapid City audience and see where they're at in the Nate Brown Show question of the day. This longtime official said, with all of this abuse to the officials, fans being crazy, parents going nuts at youth sports events, how do you stop it? He said, I've been asked this a lot. How do you stop it? And he's got this company called Offside, and he's trying to bring awareness to all the crazy stuff that goes on. His answer to stopping it is not keeping the score until you're 10 years or older. That's his answer. He said, parents wouldn't act as nuts. The pressure doesn't mount. The games wouldn't mean as much. The fake pressure and the whole thing, it wouldn't be evident if you don't keep score for the younger kids as you go through this. So he said, that would be one way right away, early on, where we wouldn't have 8- and 9-year-old parents going nuts over losing a soccer game, basketball game, whatever it may be. Okay? So that's his answer. This is a long-time official. He's ref professionally, youth, and the whole thing. And he's got this company Offside, and he said, what if we thought about it? He said, call me crazy, but I wouldn't keep the score. It would totally deflate the intensity, all of that stuff that people get wound up over little things. And when that happens, that really after the game, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. That's what this official says. So I ask you, would you keep score right away? Do you want to keep score as young as they are, or what age would you keep score? What age would you keep score? That's my question of the day. I throw it out to the audience. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Question of the day, 7th grade.
7th grade. So that would be like 12.
I'll tell you why. Have you ever reffed a 6th grade girls or boys basketball game?
I have not. I've done older. I have not.
Okay, yeah. 7th grade is when you should keep the score. And I love the coaches. God bless you. You got to call that. That's the only way he'll learn. And I'm like, well, I know you practiced a couple times because I sub at that school. And how come you haven't taught him?
Okay. I got.
Honestly.
So you think this would work if we didn't keep the score? You think that would lower the intensity?
7th grade. Let me tell you what, Nate. We got 70, 80 kids in a wrestling room. They come out, hey, I won that tournament. I'm like, ooh. I keep moving on, Nate. We don't care. Nothing matters. What Billy does today is a 5th grader, 6th grader, 7th grader. And that's why we're where we're at in sports.
I respect that. That's what this longtime official's saying, by the way. Thanks for getting in, Steve. I appreciate it.
Hey, ask Bob. He'll tell you. Go to a 6th grade basketball game.
Oh, no, I've been to him. I've been to him. Yeah.
If you can't call and blow a whistle every time a kid grabs the ball and goes to the other end of the court, you're not watching that game very well.
No, I know. That's a tough gig. I appreciate it, buddy.
And here's another thing what you do. Kick the parents out.
Oh.
Shame them, bud. I've kicked plenty of parents out. I had no trouble.
All right, man. Thanks, pal. Good to hear from you as we get started here. 720-1067. It's our question of the day. Where do people stand? This longtime official says, don't keep score until 10 years or older. I've thought about that this weekend. I've thought about that statement because I've been to a lot of youth sports activities over the last few years, I would say. And it's interesting because I said, some people get so intense during the moment. That is so important at that time. And then 3 hours after the game, or you see them the next day, everything's chill. It's like maybe it's not the biggest thing in life right now. Would this work though? I have my doubts. Okay, I'll explain later in the program. I got to get to Josh Pate coming up. But let's look at the early results. In youth sports, what age should we start keeping score for games? And the other reason I thought of this, I gave a kid a ride Saturday. Was that Saturday? Friend of my daughter's. He's 9. Okay? And he said, I was playing basketball earlier today. Had a lot of fun. I said, great. And we talked about it. And he said, I said, who won? I said, did your team win? That was my question, right? Just small talk. 9-year-old. He goes, no, I don't know. We didn't keep score. And this was a sporting event here in Rapid City. Okay, he played, and it wasn't like just playing on the playground. Kids don't do that very much anymore, from what I've told. So he said we didn't keep score. He was 9, and he was like, yeah, it was a good time. Is that the right play? 55% of the audience right now as we get started says keep score right away. Right away as you get into whatever sport you may be into. 6 years old, you can get started wrestling, soccer, some of these sports, hockey even early. That's the answer so far. 55% say keep score right away. 45% say 8 years old and up. 8 years old and up. I'll analyze that one as we get started on a Monday. There's a lot to cover, including some big questions in college football. How do these coaches continue to get these contracts with these buyouts that would make your head spin? Are we going to see another coach getting fired and a buyout upwards of $18 million after 1 year? How do they sign these deals? Josh Pate, college football analyst, Late Kick, 24/7 Sports on the way.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. The Nate Brown Show on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City in the Black Hills, if you're shopping for a new vehicle, before you buy, stop by Gateway, one of our 2 locations, 123 Omaha or 410 North Campbell. We specialize in credit rebuilder programs. We specialize in finding you the rarest cars in the market. We specialize in the funnest car buying experience. If you have good credit, bad credit, no problem. We specialize in people.
Gateway Autoplex with one of the largest inventories in the Black Hills. I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody
beats a Gateway deal.
Rush Hockey is back February 11th and 12th. On Friday, February 11th, the Rush take on Wichita. Join the Rush on Saturday, February 12th for Rush Fights Cancer, presented by Vitalant. The Rush will wear specialty jerseys that will be auctioned off post-game, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting Monument Health Foundation. Help us honor loved ones who have fought or are currently fighting all forms of cancer by painting their name on the ice on Thursday, February 10th from 5 to 7, sponsored by D&D Painting. Rapid City Rush. Next chapter, same goal. Tickets at RapidCityRush.com.
Hi, this is Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance. If you have an athlete in your family that is looking for sports training with proven results, Elevate Performance is ready to work with you. Our approach is different. We train one-on-one or in a small group, keeping the focus on your athlete, getting them to perform at their best. If your child is in middle school or high school, we have plenty of training options to fit your schedule. Take your game to the next level with Elevate Performance. To get your training started, visit elevateperformancesd.com.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Hey, Rapid City, it's Doug Gottlieb. Join me weekdays from 1 to 4 right here on 106.7 FM and 11:50 a.m. Fox Sports, Rapid City. And now let's get you back to the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City's sports talk show.
Just getting started on a Monday in the Black Hills. I'll tell you, 60 degrees today. February 7th, that's the way to start the week, I'm telling you. Wind's going to pick up, as we might know, in South Dakota. Wind's going to pick up, but enjoy it out there. Did you golf today? Maybe. You got to get golf in every month in South Dakota, right? That's your goal. You can golf every month. People don't know that, but you got to hit it when it's ready. Got to find the window. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Boy, this guy's been busy as of late. Signing day, the second signing day isn't as big as it used to be because we have the early December and then in February, but he's been interviewing coaches. Late Kick, it's the podcast, it's the show. Find him on Twitter at Late Kick Josh, okay? Great show last night. 24/7 Sports, college football analyst. It is Josh Pate on a Monday here on the Nate Brown Show. Josh, thanks for the time. How are you?
I appreciate it, and I'm very good. I was surprised. You're talking about it being 60 in February up there, and that's pretty surprising. But it's also surprising to me that we did a show last night on February 6th, and we go over an hour, and it's just jam-packed. Like, we had the Harbaugh stuff. We had Brian Harsin could be fired any minute. We had Mario Cristobal on the show. We got Miami taking Michigan's offensive coordinator. There is so much happening right now that we couldn't even get it all in an hour, which I don't ever remember saying in February.
I believe that, and I was sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get Josh Pate. It's Super Bowl week. There's nothing going on in college football. No, there is. There's a lot going on. Let me ask you about the Harsin situation. I'm not going to get into all the details because, it's a lot of speculation, a lot of stuff being thrown around online about Brian Harsin, Auburn head coach. My deal is this. If Auburn moves forward without him, and they don't make the case of firing for cause, it's an $18 million buyout for him, and you add in the last coach, that'd be $40 million to two different coaches. How do these contracts continue to be weighted like that?
They don't care. At this particular university, they don't care, and it's privately funded, so here's the way it was explained to me. It may disgust you. You may feel like taking a shower after I say this, but this is the mentality. You got some people around that program, for example. There was one very prominent booster who is a borderline billionaire off the lumber industry in Alabama alone. And the way it was explained to me is, look, you can either write these off as capital gains and send them to the government, or we can use them to get rid of a coach that we don't want anyway. So how do you think we would rather spend our $15 million, $30 million, $40 million? And it's not one person, obviously, but collectively, this is a different kind of net worth individual that we're talking about. And so those individuals, they do not care. Now, you and I could have an entire lengthy discussion on how irresponsible that is and how myopic that is, and we'd be right in both cases. But that's the way it is, as Bruce Hornsby once said.
Okay, Brian Harsin, Auburn. Auburn released a statement saying, hey, we're not going to make a decision off of social media posts and everything. We're going to look at this hard. What do you think is going to be happening here over the next few days?
Well, I can tell you what is happening. What's happening is, for those unfamiliar, just a little 20-second backstory here. None of the powerful folks around Auburn wanted Brian Harsin hired. And Alan Green, the athletic director there, finally was one to buck the system. And he did not hire the booster's choice. He hired his choice. And so that guy's been swimming upstream since day one, whether you love him or hate him. He's been swimming upstream since day one. Those very powerful people have looked for any angle possible to find fault in him. He didn't have the greatest season on the field in year one. That didn't help his case. But they think that they found some things. Now, what we don't know, contrary to internet speculation, is what those things are. But right now, over the weekend, what they did, since he's on vacation in Mexico, is they contacted him and tried to get him to come back. And he said, I'm not coming back. I'm on vacation. If you need to do something, you do something. Essentially, he called their bluff. And as you see, as of today, he still has his job. Now, what's happening behind the scenes is his representation and the Auburn legal types, of which there is an army, are attempting to negotiate that buyout down. And it looks like Harson's side is stonewalling, as I would if I were them, if he's confident that he's done nothing wrong to the point of getting fired. And I think some folks that didn't expect to have their bluff called had their bluff called, and now it's getting a little messy behind the scenes over there, because the same folks who were telling me we think something's going to happen by close of business Friday then shifted to, we'll probably get something Monday, to now probably not going to hear anything over the next 48 hours. And normally when that's the case, the powers that be on the legal side are not exactly having things go according to plan.
Keep following him for the latest Brian Harsin news from Auburn. Late Kick Josh, you'll find him on Twitter. It's Josh Pate here, 24/7 sports college football analyst. You talked about Michigan. Josh Gaddis, offensive coordinator, leaves Michigan, goes to Miami. This is two guys that have left Michigan, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. What's going on there with Jim Harbaugh in that program?
Well, it's not ideal. I don't necessarily know if anyone's to blame. I'll tell you what the takeaway has been in the agent industry is they were very surprised that Harbaugh allowed himself to classically interview for a job. You know, a lot of folks know, if you've observed the entertainment industry or the coaching industry for a long time, a lot of times when you have the highest of high-profile figures, they don't interview for jobs. They just either get the job or they don't get the job. They cannot afford to interview for a job like a normal person because they have disproportionate risk attached to them interviewing for a job. So normally it's just hey, if you want me for this job, there's my track record. You see me on TV every Saturday. Hire me or don't hire me. I'm not coming to interview because if I don't get the job, what do I come back to? Well, Jim Harbaugh was so confident he'd get that job, he allowed himself to publicly interview, and then he didn't get it. And now you're seeing why high-profile individuals rarely interview for jobs, because he's come back to no coordinators. He may very well have multiple players exit via the transfer portal. Well, we don't know if that's going to happen or not yet. And also, you know, we watched Dan Mullen at Florida this time last year try to get NFL jobs, and he whiffed. And he came back, but he was lifeless, and Florida was lifeless. Now, I do not expect Michigan to be the same way under Jim Harbaugh, because Harbaugh loves Michigan. Mullen never really was attached to Florida. That was just his job. So I don't expect that to be a problem. But listen, Harbaugh could be all in at Michigan and go 8-4 next year. That's going to be a steep climb. He's losing a bunch of players. He's losing two really good coordinators. So it remains to be seen how he fills those spots. And that's why I'm reserving judgment, not speaking in final terms. But it is going to be one of the bigger struggles of his career to get this thing back up to speed.
You talked to Miami's coach, Mario Cristobal. He gets Josh Gaddis as his OC. He's putting together a staff that you think is what?
I think it's very primed to do what they need to do in South Florida. Listen, even if I were living up in your neck of the woods, if you're a college football fan who is tired of the same few programs dominating, you ought to root for Miami. And even if you don't like what they've represented once upon a time, it is wise to root for Miami, because what that does is it keeps a lot of the South Florida talent home. And if you look at the blueprint, whether it be Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State or Clemson, the blueprint they've all used has had one thing in common. Well, two things. One and a half things. So Georgia didn't have elite quarterback play this year, but normally it's elite quarterback play, and then it's a bunch of kids from South Florida. And so if Mario Cristobal and his staff even just keep a large portion of that talent home, and Billy Napier and his staff at Florida, if they start doing their part to keep a little bit more of that talent home, what it does is it makes the Florida schools better. But even if they don't compete for championships, you never know how much more vulnerable that makes an Alabama any given year, or Clemson or Ohio State any given year. And all of a sudden, then you get some Oklahomas or Texases or USCs or Oregons in the mix, and you look back and say, wait, why is the national championship picture opened up a little bit more? Well, if it happens, it'll be because the recruiting dynamic changed in the state of Florida.
Voice of the Late Kick Pod, it's Josh Pate. Couple more quick ones. I'll let him run. College football analyst, 24/7 Sports. You interviewed Jimbo Fisher after his #1 recruiting class in the history of college football last week, and I think he got a little fired up. when people were throwing around name, image, and likeness. Maybe that helped you. Why do you think you reacted that way?
Well, he was ready to react that way, because what was funny is I go back and I look at the question I tossed to him, and it was very generic. I just asked him, what do you think about NIL? How did it affect recruiting this year? And he teed off. I mean, but that indicates to me he was already ready to go. He was just waiting for a reason to do it. And I think he bottled that up and waited till signing day so he didn't get himself in any potential trouble. But look, he said NIL has nothing to do with this recruiting class. I think that's a little far-fetched. But what aggravates him, and from this perspective I do get it, what aggravates him is there's a lot of insinuation out there. There was no hard work or anything. It's just all explained away by money. And that's not the case either. Look, I mean, there are a lot of kids who, in some cases, and I can tell you directly, chose less financial opportunity to go to Texas A&M in this signing class. So it wasn't strictly that. Like, they did an out-of-this-world job. But it's that combined with NIL that produced the result you saw last Wednesday. Let's not kid ourselves.
Josh Pate, 24/7 Sports. Last one, Caleb Williams, top player in the portal, goes to USC and makes them how good this next year?
I think that there's going to be a lot of sugar high with USC, and anyone who's ever had a sugar high knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't necessarily know along the lines of scrimmage if they will be sustainable as a legitimate contender. They'll be more entertaining. They'll score more points. They're the kind of team that's going to have the opportunity to spring a big upset and also lose by 14 to someone they shouldn't lose to. There'll just be a lot of volatility and variability in the final outcomes of games. They've got to really enhance themselves on the line of scrimmage. There's this perception out there that USC's loaded with talent. All they need is the right coach. That's not exactly true. They're a couple of cycles away in recruiting and portal from really having the quality depth that they need to along the lines of scrimmage to compete at the highest level.
If you want college football, the podcast is Late Kick, all right? Late Kick with Josh Pate. Find him on 247sports.com and Twitter at Late Kick Josh. Josh, great stuff. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it, brother. Work on that golf game.
All right. Appreciate that. We have to. It's 60 in South Dakota. Josh Pate, big fan of his. Late Kick Josh on Twitter at Late Kick Josh, the Late Kick podcast, a massive college football podcast that's grown this past year. Just really, really good. Late Kick podcast. If you're a college football fan, he's smart, has insight, knows sources, talks to a lot of coaches. He's interviewed Mario Cristobal, Miami, Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban, just in the past week. So he's plugged in. Josh Pate on tonight. Interesting what he talks about with Michigan. One thing there, Husker fans or Big Ten football fans, Michigan's lost their offensive coordinator now this week. Their offensive coordinator's going to Miami. Lost their defensive coordinator a couple of weeks ago. So they got Jim Harbaugh there, who was, I think, going to go to Minnesota, and then that thing went awry, and now he lost two guys that he brought in, which arguably you could say made a big difference for Michigan this past year and their strides that they took. So where's the Michigan program? You just don't see that happen very often. Jim Harbaugh, the long arm of the law, it's my way or the highway, and he loses his top two guys in the past few weeks. Offensive coordinator goes to Miami. Defensive coordinator's gone. It's going to be an interesting season. And now Harbaugh's like, oh, no, this is the last time. That's why he said that last week. Remember when he didn't get the Minnesota job? He said, yeah, this is it. That was the one-time thing. I'm not going to do it anymore. I just tried it once. So he's like, hey, coaches, I want you to come here and work for me. I'm going to stay here. I promise. I promise. The Auburn coach situation, you can look this one up. The allegations are being thrown around on the wide world, okay? Wide world of sports. The allegations are being thrown around that Brian Harsin, the head coach at Auburn, allegations of having an affair with one of his assistants, which is a female, okay? Wild stuff over the last week. I don't get into it because I don't like rumors, allegations. You don't know where this is coming from, but it's serious enough that Auburn is now investigating their side of it, saying, we're looking at what's going on here, okay, with Brian Harsin. My focus is on these massive contracts that continue to be signed, and Josh Pate just laid it out there. The donors, the trustees, the big heavy hitters at these programs, they don't care about having to pay buyouts. So here's what Auburn would be doing. If they fire Brian Harsin without a case, so to speak, without cause, they'll owe him over $18 million. He coached 1 year. Brian Harsin, he came from Boise State, coached 1 year. They'd owe him over $18 million. The last coach they fired, Malzahn, they're still paying him. They're still paying Gus Malzahn. That would be upwards of $40 million, nearly $40 million to two coaches that are no longer there. And it's amazing to me that these athletic directors and trustees and these contracts that get approved, somehow, some way, the agents just make these deals happen, and they say, hey, here's the buyout. And I'm trying to sit here. Who's going to take a stand and go, I don't know how this is going to work out. Even though we have really rich people, we really don't want to pay $15, $18 million. I mean, look at Nebraska. Look at Nebraska. Scott Frost had a big buyout, and they did work with him to get it down now, but it's still significant. Scott Frost got an extension from Bill Moose, the old AD. Fred Hoiberg, who's a total mess in the men's basketball program, I mean, just absolutely terrible. He's got a huge buyout. I mean, it's huge. I'm not sure the folks don't care, but I guess if you have that much money, you just say, here it is. Go get somebody to make this happen. The problem is, the premise is, you don't know how coaches will work out. Everybody thought Fred Hoiberg was going to be a star. Everybody told me. That's what they told me here. Fred Hoiberg's going to be a star for the Huskers. He's going to get the basketball program going. Nothing that Tim Miles will ever sniff at. Well, I'll take Tim. And then you're going to owe Fred Hoiberg millions and millions of dollars. And now I don't know if they can get rid of him. That's going to be a test right there. How much do donors really care about Fred Hoiberg and the Husker basketball program? Maybe not much, because I think Fred might be back. Why? The dollar signs. Coming right back, let's go to Denver. Doug Ottewill is in, milehighsports.com. Broncos discussion around this, okay? There's something that happened here today. I've got this right in front of me. This NFL quarterback just unfollowed his team on all of his social media, Twitter, Instagram. He unfollowed them. He took everything that he took his helmet, the colors of the team, the whole thing. It's gone. And if I'm the Broncos, if I don't get Aaron Rodgers, I think I make a trade and I pay this guy tomorrow. Doug Ottewill next.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
Renewal by Andersen. Our customers say it best. At Renewal by Andersen, our customers always tell us, I can't believe how comfortable and quiet these new windows have made our home. The difference is huge. Renewal by Andersen windows are the best you can get by any measure. We're a local and family-owned company. Our full-time installers are great people. We don't use subcontractors, and we stand behind our windows like no other. Contact us now and ask about our great financing options with approved credit. Renewal by Andersen. Our customers say it best.
The Horseshoe Restaurant at First Gold Gaming Resort is a great place to enjoy a delicious sit-down breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Check out their daily specials every Monday through Thursday. Plus, the Horseshoe is having a Valentine's dinner special on Monday, February 14th. That includes your choice of chicken Alfredo or a 6-ounce boneless pork chop, complete with dessert. And don't miss the legendary all-you-can-eat prime rib and crab buffet every Friday and Saturday night at First Gold Gaming Resort. We're your first stop on Main Street as you're coming into Deadwood.
All right, guys, if you need a haircut, the one place I go every time is the Man Salon. And there's a reason for it. They just do the best job. You get a great haircut with your personal stylist. I can watch a game or whatever I want in my own station. Then I get shampoo, hot towel, shoulder massage, all at a great price at the Man Salon. 2 convenient locations for you at Rushmore Crossing and on West Main. The Man Salon offers a military discount for active and retired military. For your next appointment, just book at themansalon.net.
Honey, would you hand me that chair leg, please?
The one from the mahogany dining room set or the oak chair from the living room set?
Oh, the oak ones. I think they smell better.
Here.
Oh, thank you. Feel that heat.
Honey.
Yeah.
Instead of burning the furniture in our house to stay warm, can't we just get replacement windows?
Honey, we've been through this. Those window companies subcontract the work out, and once they get started, well, good luck seeing them again.
Not if we use Renewal by Anderson. They only do windows, no subcontractors. Plus, they use certified master installers.
All they're going to do is go to a home repair store and pick something off the rack. Heck, I can do that. Oh, hand me that coffee tabletop, please.
No, they have in-home consultations, and they're 100% custom. Plus, they're energy efficient, low maintenance, and we won't have to burn any of our own furniture.
Okay, I'll call in the morning. In the meantime, do you still have that makeup table you had as a kid?
Not
it's
my
all
makeup
solid
table.
For a perfect
No,
fit,
no.
call 605-341-7831. Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hey Black Hills, Boss Pizza and Chicken is now bringing you the best new sports bar in Rapid City. Grab your crew and check out the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar on North Lacrosse Street. Same great pizza, chicken, and food you love from Boss, and now a full-service bar with beer, wine, and liquor. Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar is a newly remodeled sports bar with TVs all around and a sports ticker dedicated to local and regional sports. This is the place for sports fans in the Black Hills. The new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar in North Lacrosse and Rapid City. They're open early and open really late. Also with delivery at BossPizzaandChicken.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
We're off and running on a Monday on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for being a part of the program. We'll provide some good stuff for you tonight. Blake Jewell's coming up for the first time ever on the show. He's national Bengals writer for SI.com. Sports Illustrated Bengals writer live from L.A. Super Bowl week is upon us. We'll make a stop in with beat writers, radio guys from both sides, kind of get some insight. I like that side of it. We'll get some national guys on too, but I like the guys that cover the teams every week. Blake Jewell covers the Bengals, Sports Illustrated, live straight ahead. All right, Doug Ottewill. Let's talk Broncos. MileHighSports.com, live from Denver on Fox Sports Rapid City. Doug, I got stopped twice in the store yesterday. I mean, it's that never happens. They just usually ask me what aisle the milk's in. But I got stopped twice in the store. They said, "What do you think, Aaron Rodgers? What do you think? What do you think, Aaron Rodgers?" I go, "Well, I guess we'll have to see. It sure feels like the Broncos are going to make a play. It just feels that way. What say you?"
I think they're 100% going to try. I think that, at the end of the day, what a lot of people forget is the Packers still control Aaron Rodgers' destiny, at least to some degree. I mean, he can obviously say he's going to quit or retire or whatever, but they still, they want him. So I listen to a lot of guys here in Denver, and before I was calling, I was listening to Tyler Columbus, who is one of the afternoon show guys here in Denver, and he played for the Broncos. Has friends all over the league, obviously, and he said, that was his point. He said, look, the main thing you got to remember is that the Packers still control Aaron Rodgers' destiny. And so I put a lot of stock in that, but then at the same time, in the other station, the guy that does the night show named Cecil Lammy, he's one of these guys that goes to the Senior Bowl and whatever. He says, hey, everybody in the league is saying that, the Broncos are going in on Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers wants to be a Bronco. So he's one of these guys who talks to everybody, and I put a lot of stock in what he has to say. So, I definitely think there's interest on both sides. I think the X factor is, what does that deal look like, and how aggressive is George Payton going to be in terms of putting something together? So, if I had to bet, I'd put money on him coming here. Would I
You
bet
would.
the farm?
Okay.
Maybe not the farm, but I'd put a buck with some odds on it. Sure.
What about the ranch? Because I know you have a ranch. So come on, not the
Yeah.
farm, the ranch.
No, definitely not the ranch.
Okay.
Can't put the ranch on it.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you. I'm going to do a switch here. Because I was in on this guy early. People called the show. They said, oh, come on. He's not going to be anything. That's what they told me. He's not going to be anything. I said, if I was the Broncos, I'd try and do whatever I have to get up and get the pick to get Kyler Murray when he was going to get drafted. Well, Kyler's had a pretty good run. You could say what you want about some of the late season stuff, I guess. But I look at his numbers, and then I look at what happened today. He unfollowed the Arizona Cardinals on everything, Instagram, Twitter, everything. All of the photos that affiliated with the team are gone. So Kyler Murray is looking at a contract extension, he hopes. But now, boom, today, nothing to do with the Cardinals. If I'm the Broncos and I can't get Aaron Rodgers, Doug, am I going after Kyler Murray? I am, but you tell me why not.
I sure would. I mean,
you would.
Because I think,
you would.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think when you look at the position of quarterback in the NFL, you have to look at, okay, what's realistic? Are you going to hit a home run in the draft? Well, shoot, even if you take someone in the draft, it's like I can't remember the numbers, but I want to say, like, let's say 30% of all guys in the top 10 wind up being a star, and only, say 60% of them stick around and become, meaningful quarterbacks beyond backups. And that's in the first, top 10 picks. And again, my math might be off, but I was reading this somewhere not too long ago. I mean, it's just, these guys just are a gamble, no matter who you are and when you're picked. I mean, look at the draft a couple years ago. Josh Allen was the guy that kind of stood out, but think how many guys in that draft are really sort of already on the outs.
Yeah.
And, you look at last year's draft. I mean, is Justin Fields going to be great? That's a big if. Mac Jones, is he great? He had a good year, but is he a product of the system? Probably. Trevor Lawrence, who was like the lock, he's iffy at best right now. I mean, he's unfortunately playing in Jacksonville, so it's hard to really say. But so when you get back to a guy like Kyler Murray, who's done it in the NFL, and really, I mean, he was being talked about as the NFL MVP early in the season, and you got a creative offensive guy coming in as the head coach. I like that pairing. For me, it goes Rodgers, probably Russell Wilson, then Kyler Murray, if they're all realistic options. And then you go, and not even and then, but it's or you take somebody in the draft. You just don't know.
It feels like this. Doug Ottewell on MileHighSports.com, live from Denver, talking Broncos. It feels like the Russell Wilson thing's out of the picture. I don't know why I totally say that, but I've talked to guys in Seattle on the program the last few weeks, guys that cover the team heavily. They said he's in. And Pete Carroll's not going to let him go. Pete's on kind of his last run there. He's not going to start over. So I think Russell Wilson's out. It feels like it's Aaron Rodgers or drafting a QB, and that's why I say if Kyler Murray's in play, I don't know what you have to pay him on a deal, on an extension. What type of deal can you make with him? It might have to be a pretty big one when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and I think there's some risk there because – I don't know if it's the injury or whether it's that defense has figured him out. And that could be a little bit of that the defense is, or people feel like defense has figured him out by the end of the year because he has a unique skill set. And, the NFL is a smart place. I mean, they look and see what can a guy do, how can he beat you, and how can he not. And I think there's a little bit of that where teams figured out what to do against a guy like him with his skill set. But he still did it. He has done it in the NFL, and that, to me, speaks volumes. I mean, it's such a crapshoot. And I definitely wouldn't put him anywhere in the category of the bridge kind of quarterback where you've got, Teddy Bridgewater, you've got Jameis Winston, you name the guy, Marcus Mariota, that's right. A journeyman, has some skills, played some games, has done it on a limited basis. I mean, those guys are all fine and well, and they have a place in this league. But if you're the Broncos and you're trying to get back to prominence, you got to go with a splash. I mean, if you can't get Aaron Rodgers, and that's a long shot, like, it's not a lock. But if you can't get that done, I mean, I guarantee you people here would be excited about Kyler Murray. There's no doubt about that.
You're not in the market, Doug. I'm not either. When Kyler Murray sends a message like that, purposely unfollows the team account on Twitter, Instagram, the whole thing, well, what's going on there?
They're dealing with a millennial.
Maybe that's the case.
That's the thing that drives me nuts about modern sports. Like, what happened to the press conference where a guy says what he thinks? What happens to someone breaking a story about someone being unhappy and gets a real quote as opposed to these cryptic messages? I mean, here in Denver, Jerry Jeudy was the king of it. I mean, he'd send out a tweet that had like the little walking emoji, and people would lose their mind about what it meant and what it didn't mean. And is what Kyler Murray did kind of telling? I'm assuming it probably is, because that's how that generation. I sound like such an old guy saying it, but that's how that generation speaks.
Yeah, so I think it does mean something. I do.
There's something to it. I'm not doubting that, but does George Payton suddenly follow and like all of Kyler Murray's posts? I don't know.
All right, last quick one. Von Miller is in the Super Bowl. Is Denver cheering for him this weekend?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, and it's funny because I was accused of being a fence rider earlier today on a show because I said, I legitimately like both of these teams. I mean, it's impossible not to like Joe Burrow. I mean, the guy's just got all the fun swagger of Joe Namath right now, it feels like. But I also really, really like the Rams. I like what they've done. I like their coaching staff. They've got layer upon layer of stars at every position. And I like the Matthew Stafford story. But when you think about Von Miller, the word here, or the word, out, is that Von Miller wants to become the first defensive player to win 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And, whether you put a lot of stock in Pro Football Focus or not, he's the highest graded defensive player in the postseason. And, that may be true in their mathematics or whatever, but whether you believe in it or not, he's played really, really well. And we've seen it. He's a guy who can change games by just wreaking havoc on an offense. And so, can he do that? I think he can, and I think Denver will always have a soft spot for Von Miller, so I do think Denver's pulling for him this weekend.
MileHighSports.com, senior editor, Mile High Sports Magazine, talking Broncos. Doug Ottewill on tonight. Follow him on Twitter at @DOttewill, live from Denver. Doug, always good. Thanks a lot.
You bet, Nate. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Appreciate the time. Doug Ottewill tonight, MileHighSports.com, senior editor, live from Denver. So that throws a new quarterback into my mix, okay? As I said yesterday, I talked to 2 guys. They said, what do you think? Is Aaron Rodgers to Denver? Is that the story? That's the story, and it's going to be continued to be followed and discussed, and I feel the Broncos made a strategic, big-picture play to try and lure Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett. He's hiring Green Bay coaches, that whole thing. The trade package is going to have to be approved. The Packers are going to have to need to want to do that. It's not easy. So the next guy that comes just out of nowhere, I mean, on a Monday, just out of nowhere, Kyler Murray just pulls all of his Arizona Cardinals stuff off of his social media. And Doug, makes a joke of it. That's the millennial, right? And that is true. It sends some message there. I don't know what's going on. He may know more than we do, but he's looking for a contract extension, okay? He's getting set. He's playing on this rookie deal. He's looking for a contract extension, so he's trying to get the Josh Allen love, okay? He's trying to get the Patrick Mahomes love. So guess who else is going to be in line for that here in a little bit? Joe Burrow. Okay, all these guys that come in on the rookie deals, everybody makes hay, and then these guys are like, hey, I want the big deal. Baker Mayfield's trying to figure that out with Cleveland, and the Browns not doing much there. Kyler Murray's different than Baker Mayfield. Kyler Murray is the dual threat. The dual threat. I mean, he's rushed for over 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. He's rushed for over 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. The only guy to do that, Cam Newton, in his first few years. You remember how Cam was a dual threat, right? He got older and the whole thing happened. But I'm telling you, I was in on him 3 years ago. Broncos didn't have any picks up in there somehow, some way, as bad as we've been. Not that high anyway. And now the Broncos are sitting here, okay, are we going to look at this rookie class if we don't get Aaron Rodgers? No, you can't do it. The Kyler Murray play is the play. If he's really not going to get an extension from the Cardinals, I'm signing that deal. I am signing that deal. 67% completion, over 1,100 yards, 70 touchdowns, 34 picks, dual threat. The team when he got there was 3-13, the Cardinals. And now look at what they are. They've won more games every year he's been there. They've won more games every year he's been there, Kyler Murray. Well, they didn't finish this year. I know they had the Rams, the 49ers all right in their division. Kind of tough, kind of tough. Kyler Murray on the Denver Broncos with the defense and the whole, he's the only guy that's going to get you in that arena. What's the arena? Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, that arena. He's the guy. Boy, I'll tell you, listener text coming in saying I'm not going to get that one right. Come on, Nate. Listener text 720-1067. Kyler Murray's not worth it. He's reached his ceiling. He is Cam Newton type of running quarterback. He won't last much longer in the league. Whoa! Hang on a second. Won't last much longer in the league. I'll take that. I said it before. I got ridiculed here. Oh, Kyler's going to be nothing. Well, he's been pretty good. Last time I checked the numbers. Coming right back with Blake Jewell, Cincinnati Bengals writer, talking Super Bowl, Sports Illustrated. SI.com's Blake Jewell breaking down the Bengals. What a season. Next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter @NateBrownShow and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Are creepy crawlers hanging around your house or maybe even in your house? Warren Chemical and Equipment Company has the answer for spiders, millipedes, crickets, sow bugs, and more. They carry professional-grade pest control products and applicators for do-it-yourself pest control, and they can advise you on how to use them. For professional hands-off pest control, call Warren Chemical and they'll handle your pest problems for you. Warren Chemical and Equipment Company. We kill bugs. Call us at 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 11 p.m. tonight and continues until 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Mainly clear tonight with lows around 35. Northwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies again tomorrow, high of 51. Tomorrow night, lows around 31. A dusting of snow Wednesday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 57.
All right, here we go. Sunday, February 13th. It's the Rams taking on the Bengals, and Tin Lizzy and BetMGM Sportsbook are putting on the first big game experience ever. So many great VIP packages to choose from with hotel rooms, all-you-can-eat menu, and VIP seating. Grab your crew and get ready to experience the big game in style. Drink, eat, and play at the best party. Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook. Reserve your big game VIP package at tinlizzy.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back. The Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're off and running at Fox Sports Rapid City. Just a packed first hour, man. A packed first hour. Good stuff on the college football side with Josh Pate, 24/7 Sports. Late kick Josh in tonight. Just talk Broncos with Doug Ottewill. Broncos don't have a lot of options at quarterback. I mean, everybody's acting like, well, you can't take this guy, you can't take that guy. Here's the Broncos' options, I think. Trying to get Aaron Rodgers. You got to try all in. Rookie quarterback, iffy in this class, iffy at number 9. And then you got Kyler Murray just out there wondering, where's he going to go? Is he going to stay with the Cardinals? Well, what's going on there? I'd pull that Kyler Murray in a heartbeat for the Broncos. All right, let's go to Blake Jewell. I want to do this every day on the program. We're going to have a Super Bowl countdown, right? And let's talk to the guys that cover the teams. Well, we'll get national guys on, but this guy's national, and he covers the team every day. Bengals writer, SI.com. You can find his work there. He's got a podcast out there as well, Who Day. Blake Jewell. Find him on Twitter, at Blake Jewell NFL. That's the follow, at Blake Jewell NFL. Let's talk Bengals here on the Nate Brown Show. Blake, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So give me your honest perspective. You've covered the team. When did you start realizing the Bengals might be able to make this run? Was it just last week, or did you see this one building?
Well, I can't remember the exact week, but I was just telling a friend the other day that the moment I realized, this team was for real was whenever they played the Ravens the first time. And they ran up the score on the Ravens at Baltimore. And, maybe wasn't thinking Super Bowl at that time. But, the expectations going into the season were that this was going to be a 6 or 7 win team. I think I had 8 wins. And, they were just going to try to get Joe Burrow building, stay healthy, have a solid season. But that game's when it really took off. You saw how they were going with Jamar Chase. The defense played well. That's kind of when I realized, this is a good football team here. And then, last week I was watching that game, and as soon as the game ended, I had the thought if the Bengals can go into Arrowhead in the AFC Championship and beat the Bengals, they can beat about anybody. So, feeling a little confident with this team going into the Super Bowl.
Interesting. Zach Taylor, the coach, 6-25-1 before this turnaround. Okay. So you look at that. He was 6-25-1 before this turnaround. Cincinnati was staying with him, I guess, but it felt like, man, he was kind of on the hot seat there. How do you think Zach Taylor got this done? Because some people say, well, I don't love maybe the scheme, but what type of culture has he built?
Yeah, that's the thing for me. Going in, the past couple of seasons actually covering this team, if you looked into any of my work, I was not on the Zach Taylor, fan club. And I'm still not fully there in his play calling, but in terms of culture, he's just got it, about as good as you can get in the NFL. This is one of the – I've only been, covering teams for about 3 years, but this team is very close. It's compared to about 2 years ago, they had issues with players speaking out and requesting trades, and now this team, it seems like they're having fun all the time, and they're all bought in. And I think, that's the biggest part of it. Play calling's a different story, but he's got everyone on this team bought in, and they've been prepared for every game this year. So I think that, for the most part, he's done a great job with the culture, and as a head coach, he's been fantastic this season.
This is Blake Jewell, covers the Bengals. Bengals writer, Sports Illustrated, SI.com. He's on Twitter at Blake Jewell NFL, talking Bengals first here on this Monday. Okay, honest answer, Blake, honest answer. Do you want to, this week, Super Bowl, the whole thing, the pressure, the whole thing, do you want Joe Burrow or do you want Matthew Stafford? Just right now.
Joe Burrow. And, you know, like, could come across as a little biased, but someone watching Joe Burrow all season, I mean, I'm not sure how many guys in this league I would take over him. I know it's not a big amount. You know, you have the obvious guys like Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen, which, you know, they're elite. They're in the conversation, you know, for anything. But, you know, Burrow beat Mahomes last week. He's beat him twice this year. Josh Allen couldn't beat Mahomes. Just things like that. Joe Burrow's got something about him. If you watch the national championship with LSU, just the way he carries himself, he's very poised, very calm. Nothing too big. The moment's never too big for him. And, you know, you take away the arm talent and the accuracy and all that stuff, and if you just put those two guys and how they carry themselves in big moments, I would take Joe Burrow in this game.
All right, Blake Jewell on Bengals writer, SI.com, talking Bengals, Rams, Super Bowl this week. My brother played linebacker at Wyoming, okay? So I've got Wyoming connections. Logan Wilson comes into Cincinnati, gets drafted, has a good year, and now this year he's leading the team in the postseason in tackles. Linebacker Logan Wilson out of Casper, Wyoming. What do you say about his play?
Yeah, he's been fantastic this year. You know, you saw early on he was getting a lot of interceptions. He was just, wherever the ball was, he found it. And he's kind of continued that play all season. He had an injury. He missed a few weeks, and he came right back. It was like he never missed a practice. And he's been playing. He's kept the same level of play all season. And if you watch, you know, any Bengals game, his play is noted. You notice him immediately. Wherever the ball's at, he's near it. And I think he's been a huge part of, you know, this defense's success for most of the season, especially in the playoffs. He's picked up his play quite a bit. The whole linebacker group has picked up their play. Jermaine Pratt, especially, he had a game-winning interception against the Raiders, but they've been dealing with some injuries. Keane Davis-Gaither and Jordan Evans both went down, and then Joe Bacci went down later in the year, and they're all out for the season. And Logan Wilson was already stepping up before that, and ever since they lost, you know, three linebackers that had considerable playing time, he's stepped up even more.
Wyoming Cowboy Logan Wilson, I mean, he's having a great year, leads the Bengals in tackles in the postseason, had a big game against the Chiefs, and now playing in the Super Bowl. Blake Jewell on tonight, SI.com, Bengals writer. Before I let you run, you give me your take on what you're watching Sunday. It's kind of one of those aspects of the game Sunday where, okay, if the Bengals are able to control this or do that, that's what you're watching.
Yeah, well, the pretty obvious answer is the Rams' defensive line, what they can do there. Joe Burrow's going to get pressured. It's going to happen. The Rams' defensive line is outstanding. The Bengals' offensive line is not very good. And there's ways you can kind of combat that a little bit. You know, you can go with screens, play action, run the ball, although I'd like to see a lot of early down passes from Joe Burrow. But I think they're going to do a lot of short passes. Tyler Boyd's the name to look out for. Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Jamar Chase. They're going to do what they can to stop T. Higgins as well. So quick passes to Tyler Boyd, some screens out of the backfield with Joe Mixon, Chris Evans, Samaje Perine. There's ways to get the ball out quick and try to avoid, you know, Aaron Donald and the Rams defensive line.
Blake Jewell on tonight talking Super Bowl. He covers the Bengals. He's on it, SI.com. Sports Illustrated has the Who Day podcast as well. Find him at Blake Jewell NFL on Twitter. Blake, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate it. Talking Bengals writer, Sports Illustrated, Blake Jewell, SI.com. We'll do that every day this week. Do our best anyway. Put some work in to find the guys covering the teams day in, day out. Bengals, Rams on the inside a little bit to give it a little insight into each team. Who are we rooting for? Who are we rooting for this Sunday? That's something we haven't thrown out yet. We've got time this week on the Nate Brown Show to throw that out, but who do you get the sense you're rooting for? A lot of folks I talk to just talking about it the last few days, I get a lot of Bengals. Why is that? It feels like maybe you should root for the Rams a little bit. We got some Von Miller fans in here with Broncos country. Matthew Stafford hasn't won anything, and what a career, and now he's got a chance. Yet it's like, yeah, we're kind of rooting against the Rams. At least it feels that way. I kind of feel like, Bengals, they haven't won it. They need this. You know, the Bengals, lowly Bengals, they were 2-14. And how about that? Zach Taylor, the head coach, before this turnaround, 6 wins, 25 losses, 1 tie. And people are like, well, and the Bengals stuck with him. Oh, no kidding. What are you going to do? Yeah, have you seen this coaching search? I mean, the Texans are, hiring Lovie Smith and guys like Lovie Smith. His career record is 2 wins over 500, and he's got a long, long career. Bears, Buccaneers, Illinois. I mean, he's got a long career. Zach Taylor, though, what a turnaround. Should he be the coach of the year? Zach Taylor, should he be the coach of the year? He was 6-25-1. The Bengals were lowly, and now a Super Bowl contender Sunday. All right, question of the day is interesting. We've got a lot of answers in our first one. I'm going to go to another one of the Drive at 5. So you heard last week, college football here in South Dakota and around the country was signing day, right? So I always kind of take a look and I say, okay, let's look at South Dakota high school football players and where they signed. I always look, where do our local kids, whether East River, West River, where do they end up going with our public universities? South Dakota Mines, Black Hill State, Northern, SDSU, USD, Dakota State. I want to know, where do these players go? So I have the list. How many South Dakota players in football are on our college football teams here in this state? I've got the numbers by school, and I've got an interesting signing day scenario with one university who decided they weren't going to go down that road. That's next.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
It's tax time, and the time to buy is now at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet. We have local used vehicles from every major manufacturer. Cars and trucks to fit all your 2022 travel needs. Many priced below NADA book value. Choose from the largest selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Black Hills. Over 400 to shop from, all credit applications accepted. The right cars, the right prices, the right experience. At Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Take control of your finances in the new year by making a plan with Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Access BHFCU's free money management tool in online and mobile banking to bring all your accounts together in one dashboard. Set budgets, track spending, create notifications, and plan future goals. Learn more at BHFCU.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit, federally insured by the NCUA.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dave Sharp, Director of Coaching with the Black Hills Rapids Soccer Club. Registration is underway, and our club is a great fit for everyone, from the beginner to the more experienced player. If you want your child to have some fun and get some great exercise learning the game of soccer, now is the time to register at blackhillsrapids.com. With great coaches and a premier 12-field soccer complex, the experience with the Black Hills Rapids is second to none. Register your player now at blackhillsrapids.com.
Fans know some things just go together. Slam dunks and three-pointers, face paint and superfans, game days and tailgates. I'm State Farm agent Scott Carlson, and I know another winning combination, home and auto. Me and my team are here to help life go right when you combine your home and auto insurance, which saves you time and money. So get your home and auto on the same team and score some savings. Call me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, at 342-0188.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
Hey, welcome back in. How you doing? We're back on a Monday. The Drive at 5 on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. Pre-owned selection right now, really good. Cars, SUVs, trucks, all there. SummitAutoGRP.com. Stop there before you buy. Take a look. SummitAutoGRP.com. Car buying truly built around you. Find out how. The Summit difference with Stacy and Matt and their staff. SummitAutoGRP.com. And the Drive at 5 on Fox Sports Rapid City, featuring Thor Nystrom is in tonight. NFL college football analyst, NBC Sports Edge. Who is the best college quarterback? He was at the Senior Bowl. Now, the Senior Bowl was on Saturday. That's all the top prospects, right? So nobody knows about these college quarterbacks this year that are going to be NFL prospects. This is one of those years where nobody knows about these guys. Usually you have some top-tier guys going into the top 6, top 10. There's no huge names. Who's the best? Thor Nystrom was there in Alabama Saturday. We'll talk to him about that and some odds on the Super Bowl, some early betting odds. Thor Nystrom's in. Mike Hendrickson's going to join us later this hour. South Dakota sports broadcaster, live from Sioux Falls. Our friend Mike Hendrickson coming on. So a busy second hour. First answer to the question of the day coming in. There was an official, a longtime sports official, who got my attention over the weekend. He said how we cut down on the abuse of officials and intensity and conflicts at these youth sports events. He said we need to stop keeping score so early. That's what this longtime sports official said. We need to stop keeping score. That would kind of deflate all of the intensity. You know, give us a little chill pill. Everybody relax. It's not the Super Bowl when it's 9-year-old soccer or basketball, whatever it is. Do you buy that? In youth sports, what age should we start keeping score for games? I want to ask you, right away? You know, when I say right away, I mean like when kids start, they usually start, 5, 6 years old? Some t-ball, some wrestling, some soccer, some of that stuff. In youth sports, what age should we start keeping score for games? Right away? Or do you think 10 years old and up? 52% of you say start keeping score right away. 52%. And then we break it down this way. 27% on the program tonight say keep score 10 years old and up. 27%, pretty big number. 21% say start keeping score 8 years old and up. So look at that scenario. There are a few more people that say start keeping score right away. It doesn't matter the age. Start keeping score right away. But some people say do it 8 years old and up and 10 years old and up. It's interesting. Let's go to the Barons-Wilson text line. I've got something here. Listener text 720-1067. I vote for no scorekeeping until 10. Teach kids skills over keeping scores for parents to talk about. Okay. I got you on that. Let's see. Listener text, this is on the other side. Keep score right away. Adults just need to grow up and treat officials with a little respect. And that is true. That is that is true. But if you've seen these videos that I've seen, adults aren't growing up half the time. I say this. I'm fine with keeping score. I mean, we're sitting here going, well, maybe that would fix it. Would that fix it? I don't know. There's always going to be something that Timmy and Jimmy get upset over. There's always going to be something. This kid knocked this kid down. This kid in soccer pushed him. Why didn't you call that? Why didn't you call it? I know the score kind of ratchets it up, everybody gets fired up. Oh, we got to win this 9-year-old soccer game. Why? I mean, I know we want to compete, we want to have fun, we want to develop, we want to do the whole thing. So I get the winning, but I'm fine with keeping score. I'm fine. You know why? I've coached youth sports. The kids keep it anyway. Whether you like it or not, the kids keep the score anyway. They keep it anyway. Now, adults, let's chill, okay? Adults, let's chill. 52% say keep score right away, but a significant number saying 8 years old and up, maybe 10 years old and up. And again, I've coached youth sports, young kids. I've had young kids, and I still do. A lot of the kids keep score. Hey, it's not like you're going to take that edge. The point is, can we go into it with a mindset of self-awareness? Can we go into it of why we're doing this? Fun, development, physical activity, camaraderie, team sports, the whole learning process. Can we remember that stuff first? I don't know, and that's the problem. That's why this longtime official said it would really just help if we stop keeping score so everybody's not worried about winning this tournament or that tournament. And he thinks that would help. Interesting. I've got something for you really quick before we get to Thor Nystrom. So last week was college football signing day, college sports signing day. And I'm focusing on football here because this was brought to my attention. I wanted to look at what college football programs here in this state, how many South Dakota players do they have on their rosters? I'm just always interested. We cover high school football. I've done that for a long time here in the state. I've seen some great opportunities for kids. They come out of here, they stay in state, and they have great careers. Just look at South Dakota State. We've had some great South Dakota players. Taryn Christian, great quarterback for SDSU. You've got the Yonke twins, Yankees out of Madison right now, big impact players for SDSU. Cole Langer back in the day, remember that name? He was out of Del Rapids, great player for the Jackrabbits. So we've seen players from West River, East River, go to the universities here in state and have success. What does it look like now? And then I ask you this second question of the day, if you haven't sounded off on it. Do you care if in-state college football programs have South Dakota kids on the roster? I'm asking you as most of you South Dakota sports fan. Some of you have had kids that have grown up, that have gone through this and the whole thing. I want to know, as a South Dakotan, do you care if South Dakota football programs have South Dakota kids on the roster? Do you care? 720-1067, Barron's Wilson text line. Hit me there. Getting a lot of votes right now. 68%, it breaks down, say, I care a lot, it makes a difference. South Dakota kids on the roster of college football programs in this state. 68%, I care a lot, it makes a difference. 32% say it's not a huge deal. Where do you stand? Here are the numbers right now. Here are the numbers, South Dakota kids from high school on our university program rosters. Let's start locally. South Dakota Mines, 12. Okay, they've got 12 players. Really unique educational side there, so you got to fit that bill. Engineering, STEM education, okay? So a little bit tougher there to dial in on the Division II athlete needed with that educational focus in that field, okay? SD Mines, 12 players. Not bad, not bad. Black Hill State, 11 players. 11 players. USD, 9 players on the roster for the Coyotes are from South Dakota. 9. South Dakota State this year, 31. 31. Now, people are going to say, well, what's going on there? Well, South Dakota State's had the better football program overall, so you kind of get some of the, I'm going to walk on there. If I'm going to go there, if I'm going to play D1, I'm going to try South Dakota State. They've had a little more success, right, as of late than the Coyotes on the football side. USD's coming along, but not quite there. So that may play a factor. But what say you? How about this? Northern State, Aberdeen, 39 players. They take the cake for Division II, Division I. Division II, Division I universities in this state. Northern State has the most players, 39 players from South Dakota at Northern, 31 at SDSU. 12 at South Dakota Mines, 11 at Black Hill State, 9 at USD. One thing I looked at, I said Black Hill State, there's a wide-ranging focus there. They've got 11 players. This past signing day, I didn't see a South Dakota kid on that signing day. I did not see a South Dakota high school kid on the Black Hill State signing day, but we shall see how that develops there. Sometimes kids come in later. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's interesting. How much do you care? How much do you care? Let's see. How much do you care? 67% say a lot makes a difference. 33%, not a huge deal. Somebody replying here. I got to get to this. If my team wins games, it doesn't matter. But if we lose and there's no local kids, that's a tough look. And that's probably about right. It's like, well, we'd like South Dakota kids to be on our teams, but if we're winning, I don't think people really look at it. But I do think this. I think you got to try and get some South Dakota kids, whether it's walk-ons, whatever it may be. I think you've got to try and get some. I really, really do. I'm a big believer in that. Home state, home kids, you got to try and keep that connection. You got to try. Those are the stories that people like following. They really are. Whether even in Nebraska, I mean, the Huskers had an unbelievable walk-on program for their home state kids, right? And that was popular. That was something that people wanted to be a part of and see. I think you've got to try and get some South Dakota kids in your program. We're back with Thor Nystrom next. NBC Sports Edge. Who is the best college quarterback that will be a pro next year? It's a big question. I don't think a lot of people really know. Thor Nystrom was at the Senior Bowl. He's next.
The Nate Brown Show.
Renewal by Anderson. Our customers say it best. At Renewal by Anderson, our customers always tell us, I can't believe how comfortable and quiet these new windows have made our home. The difference is huge. Renewal by Anderson windows are the best you can get by any measure. We're a local and family-owned company. Our full-time installers are great people. We don't use subcontractors, and we stand behind our windows like no other. Contact us now and ask about our great financing options with approved credit. Renewal by Anderson. Our customers say it best.
Your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 11 p.m. tonight and continues until 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Mainly clear tonight with lows around 35. Northwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies again tomorrow, high of 51. Tomorrow night, lows around 31. A dusting of snow Wednesday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 52.
Honda True. Discover 3 tiers of vehicle coverage that work for you. Only at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. The inspection is just the beginning. Honda certified pre-owned means peace of mind with incredible benefits like 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange option. Check out all the benefits and search inventory at honda-true.com or come by Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda in Rapid City.
All right, here we go. Sunday, February 13th. It's the Rams taking on the Bengals, and Tin Lizzy and BetMGM Sportsbook are putting on the first big game experience ever. So many great VIP packages to choose from with hotel rooms, all-you-can-eat menu, and VIP seating. Grab your crew and get ready to experience the big game in style. Drink, eat, and play at the best party. Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook. Reserve your big game VIP package at tinlizzy.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show rolling tonight on a Monday. Hope you're having a solid day. Beauty out there. A beauty today. They tell me the wind's going to blow. Okay, thanks. I live in South Dakota. We're fine. We're fine, okay? We got to be tougher than a $2 steak to live around here. And then we get hit with these 60-degree days. They don't get that in Minnesota, okay? They may tell you it's okay out there. They don't get that out there. That's why West River's the best side, right? That's the best side. Thor Nystrom's in. He knows how cold it can get back there. Thor Nystrom, NBC Sports Edge, NFL college football analyst. Talking Senior Bowl, I think it's a big question. Who is the best college football quarterback that's going to be an NFL star? I don't know. Who's going to be the first pick when it comes to quarterback off the board? It's one of those years. I think a lot of football fans are like, who's there? Thor KU. He's on Twitter. Follow him there. Thor KU, NBC Sports Edge analyst. Thor, thanks for the time. How are you?
Always good to be with you, Nate. Doing great.
Okay, man. I appreciate your time. So you're talking Senior Bowl, and so the Senior Bowl happens Saturday, and I think a lot of casual sports fans, they usually know some of the top names. Usually. I'm just going to throw it out this year and say, people are kind of wondering, Thor, who is the quarterback that's going to be off the big board early? And I'm going to get your take on, is this class kind of one that's a mystery?
For the second one, for sure, yes. Especially the quarterback class. To your latter question there, we've had some of those classes in the past where, especially at the beginning, you have sort of a quagmire there at the top, the top five. Perceptually, I was one of the guys that went there to Mobile last week who had Malik Willis at QB1. I don't want to toot my own horn because there wasn't a ton of us. Now, coming back from there, there's a lot more of us that are pointing that way. To your former question, I think Malik Willis, he might be the guy that emerges during this draft process. There were specific questions that you had about his evaluation, a lot of which he just answered at the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl was not the event that's conducive to his skill set. That's the NFL Combine. Malik Willis is going to blow the roof off the NFL Combine. So the fact that he, was clearly the best quarterback in Mobile was a huge start to his process, and I think he's got a real shot to be that first quarterback off the board now.
Okay, so he's kind of coming out of nowhere. People are listening. They're going, Malik Willis? Who? What's his story?
Yeah, he was a former Auburn quarterback, and man, he has a fascinating story and a fascinating thing that happened to Auburn. Gus Malzahn picked Bo Nix over Malik Willis a couple years ago because Gus Malzahn thought that Malik Willis was too raw to start. Gus Malzahn got fired the next year because his offense was sputtering. Meanwhile, Malik Willis goes with Hugh Freeze, the former SEC coach who was now down at Liberty, and he dominated right from the jump. The last 2 years, Malik Willis has been awesome down there. They upset multiple Power 5 teams. They upset Virginia Tech. They upset Syracuse. Almost upset NC State last season, despite the fact that he played around no draftable talent. Liberty's offensive line was a travesty. They didn't have any skill position talent, and they were still very dangerous because they had Malik Willis, this guy who, he is going to be the best scrambler to come into the league for sure since Lamar Jackson. Because he has quasi Lamar Jackson speed. The guy ran a 4.37 at Auburn as a sophomore, and then he has quasi Jalen Hurts power as a runner as well. So you combine those two things. We haven't really seen a guy like this before in terms of out of the pocket. But what was fascinating is Gus Malzahn. He didn't start Malik Willis because he thought Malik Willis was too raw. He gets fired for it. Auburn then next hires Brian Harsin. The last day of the NFL Combine, of the Senior Bowl, a Senior Bowl that Malik Willis had just clearly dominated. The Brian Harsin bombshell came out. I thought that was pretty ironic. And a lesson for the NFL. If you think that Malik Willis is too raw to pick, learn from the lesson of Auburn. Basically.
Interesting. Thor Nystrom on NFL college football analyst. So you say Malik Willis could be the QB1 out of Liberty. So I'm the Denver Broncos. I'm picking number 9. I don't get Aaron Rodgers. I don't really get anybody. Do I pick Malik Willis?
If it's me, yeah. I think right now they're sitting dead right on Rodgers because they think, that is the piece and they think that they can get him. But yeah, if you miss out on him, if it's me, yes. But for that administration, you don't know if it's the win now thing, if they're just sitting dead red on that. So if they missed out on Rodgers, they would try to get another immediate thing. That we don't know, but obviously they think that they're that close. The only thing with Malik is next season, I would want to go into next year. If I drafted Malik, I would want to have, whether it be the Patrick Mahomes plan or what the Lamar Jackson plan was initially with Baltimore when they took him. And I loved Lamar Jackson coming out. I didn't think Lamar Jackson should start in year one, and yet he was starting by the end of the season, and he led him to the playoffs. So I'm not going to say just categorically that Malik can't play, because coming in, the value his legs are going to give you in the NFL is ridiculous. So, I mean, like, that's going to be there right away. It's just the stuff in the pocket, in structure and stuff like that. But that goes to the point of why I thought, especially, he was the most impressive quarterback in Mobile, because out of structure play, we know he is so good. In Mobile at the Senior Bowl, most of that event with quarterbacks, it's played from within pro-style structure. That's the thing he's supposed to struggle at, and yet out of those 6 guys, he was clearly the best one, playing in structure, and Matt Corral was the only top quarterback in the entire draft that wasn't there. So very impressive showing by Malik this week.
Okay, last one on the quarterbacks with Thor Nystrom, college football NFL analyst, covers the draft really well. Your number 2 and 3 quarterbacks are who? Corral and Kenny Pickett? How does that go for you?
Yeah, for me, Corral's up there for sure. And then for Carson Strong and Pickett are the 2 that I would be looking at right there. I think I'd probably have Strong higher, for, just myself. Yeah, Pickett, it seemed, for me, you're buying a higher floor to take the lower ceiling. It's like you're getting, you're sort of hoping that he turns out to be like a Kirk Cousins type, and every fan base that has had Kirk Cousins is always complaining that you don't, that he doesn't have the upside of some of these other guys. I don't think that Kenny Pickett can be any better than that. And I'm not sure that he is Kirk Cousins. Whereas, again, with some of these other guys, the upside, it's just so much higher. Malik and Carson Strong, there aren't, and Corral. I mean, those are the top 3 guys, I think, in terms of just pure arm talent in this class. So for me, I'm shooting higher on the upside with the first-round quarterback, because it's such a cheat code when you get that stud on that rookie deal.
Thor Nystrom on tonight. Good stuff. NBC Sports Edge, NFL college football analyst. Let's go to the betting side for the Super Bowl really quick. Rams, 4.5-point favorite. How much is the home field factoring in there?
Man, people were kind of making fun of the Rams for not having the most home field advantage during the regular season. I'm not sure how much advantage you give in that at all.
Okay.
I think, yeah, especially during the Super Bowl, when you have this sort of environment of a lot of people, fans from different fan bases and a lot of corporate folks there. I'm not sure that is going to be an advantage. I'd probably put that around a half a point or 1 point on the line at most if I was going to be, doing it as far as the against the spread.
That's interesting. I was wondering. That's why I said I don't know if the home field's a big factor there. When you look at the betting side all week long, how do you feel about this game playing out?
Well, so, I mean, as you know, I'm more of the college guy, but if I'm going to bet, and by the way, Nate, I'm going to be betting on it. I'm going to be putting my money on Cincinnati. Look, and Nate, you were there watching that LSU team in 2019, right? Like, the whole time at the end of that season, I wasn't believing what was in front of my eyes, that they were that good, because they just started blowing out everybody, blowing out team and these elite teams, right, through the end of that season and then through the playoff. And it just kept getting better and better and better. And I'm starting to get that feeling, watching Burrow and Jamar Chase, and the whole deal on this team, that they are ahead of schedule. They're a year or 2 ahead of where they should have been on the thing. But I am not going to doubt those 2 guys going into a championship scenario, because I've seen this movie before. Meanwhile, with the Rams, you've seen some of these games where they jump out to the lead and they're letting teams back in it and all this different stuff. I don't know. Cincinnati, they're the underdog that I would not want to be facing right now if I was the Rams. Interesting. The college football LSU factor coming in for Thor Nystrom and the Bengals. NFL college football analyst, the draft. It's going to be a lot of talk, and Thor's one of the leading guys. NBC Sports Edge. He's on Twitter at ThorKU. Thor, good stuff, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Nate.
Thanks for the time. Thor Nystrom tonight, Fox Sports Rapid City. NBC Sports Edge, NFL college football analyst, Thor KU on Twitter. So his quarterback is Malik Willis. his college quarterback, best pro, Malik Willis, number 1. He's out of Liberty. And he told me, if you're the Broncos and you don't have a quarterback yet, you got to roll with Malik Willis. Well, they didn't roll with Justin Fields last year. Didn't roll with Justin Fields. Oh, the Broncos QB situation. What a never-ending story. Mike Hendrickson's on next from Sioux Falls, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster. I've got 2 big questions for him. When it comes to in-state athletes going to in-state universities, how much does that matter? And keeping score in youth sports. What does Mike say about what age is appropriate? Next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
I'm Tyler Haugen, and this is my wife, Dee, and we own D-Type Vet Supply.
Pioneer Bank has been very good to us.
All our banking is with Pioneer Bank right now.
What you find oftentimes in big corporate banks is they don't allow people to run their business the way that it should be ran. And without a doubt, it's been just an easy relationship with Pioneer Bank. Very easy.
Yeah, we support them because, they support us. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When it comes to protecting your home and your belongings, what works for your neighbor most likely won't work for you. Insurance is personal, and that's why the coverage specialists at Fisher Rounds & Associates work with you to tailor a policy that protects your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions at the most reasonable cost possible. We sweat the small and the big stuff, so you don't have to. That's at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
It's no secret. Players play at the place with the biggest giveaways. And in Deadwood, that place is First Gold Gaming Resort. Every Friday through Sunday, you can win a share of $8,600 in promo play through hot seat drawings. Every Saturday night, First Gold gives away $1,000 in cash every hour from 6 p.m. till midnight. And on Saturday, February 26th, it's the $12,000 Golden Cash Blast with a grand prize drawing for $4,200 in cash. First Gold Gaming Resort. It's where Deadwood begins and the winning never ends.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are back on a busy Monday, thought-provoking sports talk, huh? Great guests across the board. The Nate Brown Show live weekdays 4 to 6. If you missed some of the guests, we've talked to a Bengals writer, we've talked Broncos, we've talked college football, we've talked NFL top draft prospects at quarterback, which I think a lot of people haven't quite got plugged in on yet. A lot of these quarterback classes are filled with guys everybody knows. This one, not so much. The Nate Brown Show podcast is out there. If you missed some of tonight's show, download the podcast. You can listen at your own convenience. We're out there. Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud. All right, we're out there. We're out there. The Nate Brown Show podcast. Download it. You can listen at your own convenience. We'll get it uploaded tonight. Mike Hendrickson's out there, man. He's doing the show, calling all sports. He's doing play-by-play in high school. I mean, this guy's getting after it. Mike Hendrickson, longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I'm going to make him put in a little work late on a Monday. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, Nate. I'm not getting after it like I used to. It's really nice to be able to pick your own schedule these days, but, when it comes to play-by-play and that sort of thing. But, yeah, still staying on top of stuff. That's the beauty of streaming, too. I don't necessarily have to be someplace to watch a ball game, and I love the job you guys do when it comes to streaming your ball games, too.
Well, we appreciate that.
Helps keep me updated on what's happening out in your part of the world.
West River is the best river, okay? I'm just saying, okay. Let me ask you about this. St. Thomas More went back to Sioux Falls. You did that game. They played number 1 DeSmet. So we had number 1 Class B boys, number 2 Class A boys, and it's an old Hollenbeck defensive snot knocker. 36-30. DeSmet won it by 6. What did you think of those two teams?
Well, just to be clear, I did not do the actual game, but I did some of the games during the course of the day, but split it up with some other folks. But yeah, Paul Seville, who runs the Pentagon and put together the Dakota Schoolers back in the early '90s, he's been around. He put it best. He said Dave Hollenbeck's games some years are going to look like a root canal. You don't want to go through it, but it's probably going to be successful at the end. Dave has had teams that he could put points on the board. He had 5 or 6 guys on the roster that was going to go off and play college ball, but the defense has always been his calling card because that's always been the constant. I always say that Dave Hollenbeck should have been a football coach because he'll reset the offense and he'll run a play and then he'll stomp his foot and rerun another play and that sort of thing. He's as involved as anybody on the sideline, and you knew that was just going to be exactly that type of game. If that game got into the 60s, then DeSmet was probably going to win it going away. But that game was exactly the way that St. Thomas More had to play it.
I'll tell you, 36-30, the Cavaliers lose by 6 to number 1 DeSmet. DeSmet has Kalen Gary. You've seen some kids. Is he the best player in the state?
Right now, probably. Certainly a combination of skills. There are so many things that he can do well and affect the game. And so, yeah, he's certainly top 3 if he's not the best.
Yeah.
It was fun for me. I got a chance to see McLaughlin play and Little Wound play. I don't normally get a chance to see those programs, so that was great. But and we saw some great players throughout the course of the day. But yeah, Gary is tough to top.
Mike Hendrickson on tonight, Calling All Sports is his show. Longtime South Dakota sports broadcaster, getting set to call some state championships coming up. I have this question because it came from a longtime sports official over the weekend. He said, how we can cut down on fans being crazy and coaches going nuts at youth sports and parents going over the top and all these videos we see. How we can stop that? He said we should stop keeping score and only start when we're 10 years old and up. I threw it out to my audience. What do you think of that? Keep score right away or wait till 10 years old and up?
Nate, I've seen it both ways. When I was growing up, actually, in Lincoln, Nebraska, they didn't allow fans into the games until you got to junior varsity games.
Oh.
And which was the most extreme that I've seen. But I think that limiting fans would be good. In theory, not keeping score is great, except for the fact that everybody knows what the score is.
Right. Even the kids.
I was at my my 4th grade granddaughter's doubleheader yesterday, and even if they didn't have the scoreboard turned on, everybody in the Rutland gym would have known what the score was. So, in theory, that's a good one. I don't think it would help that much. Here's what I do, and I think I've told you this before. Yesterday, it was a couple of high school girls from the Old Hammer-Mona Rutland basketball team that were repping these 4th graders.
Okay.
And there were a few fans hollering at them. And it's like, shut up. First of all, just shut up. These kids have better places to be on a Sunday afternoon,
right.
Or a Saturday morning or whatever the case may be. Every single youth game that I go to that involve any of my grants, and this doesn't make me great, I'm just saying we all need to have more of this. I go and thank the refs or the umpires, whatever it may be. I seek them out, I find them, and I thank them. Even if they were crap, I don't care. That's how they learn.
Right. So, thanks for the time. I try and do the same thing. Yeah,
exactly. Who knows if maybe a positive comment is going to encourage them to go, I kind of enjoy this. Because, Nate, we're not far down the road where we're going to be missing out on varsity activities because of the fact our officials aren't getting replenished, and it's plain and simple because of parents.
All right.
College, or fans. I shouldn't just say parents.
Right.
Fans.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. College football signing day last week got my attention here. So we're putting together a list. How many South Dakota kids are on our public in-state university football program rosters? How many South Dakota kids? And so we looked through this. South Dakota State has 31 South Dakota kids. USD has 9. Black Hills State has 11. Northern State has 39. That's the biggest number with D2 Division I. Northern State 39. South Dakota Mines here in town 12. And I said they've got engineering, pretty academic, focused side. It's tough there, but they've got 12. I ask you this: does it matter if in-state college football programs have South Dakota kids on the roster?
I will answer that with a story. Today on our show, we had Eric Henderson, who, of course, head basketball coach at SDSU. I know he's been on your show, et cetera, several times as well. We asked him about Noah Friedel because of the fact we know Noah Friedel. If a similar situation was happening to, Luke Apple, I'll just pick that one. If a similar situation was happening to Luke Apple, I'm not sure that we would ask the question. But because it's Noah Friedel, because we saw his dad play, or at least I did, Openin and I did, and because of the fact we've watched him play at T and now begin his career, be such a breakout star at SDSU, we felt more connected. I will tell you that just me, not that I root differently, but as a fan, I would rather go see SDSU football than USD football. Those are my two of my closer schools here, just simply because of the fact I am more familiar with the kids at SDSU. So, yeah, I think it matters.
You do.
You take a look. Yeah. Go one class smaller. Let's go down to NAIA. Dakota Wesleyan has a recruiting area of about 45 miles, and the Corn Palace is packed. And this year, the men aren't as good as they usually are, but the Corn Palace is packed because you've watched those kids. Dakota State used to be the same way. They'd go 500 every year, but they were doing it with a bunch of kids from DeSmet and Scotland and Ethan and, a bunch of small-town kids that we had seen. I do think it makes a difference, but part of that is just Bob Nielsen. Bob Nielsen is still relatively new to the area. John Stiglmeyer, 35 years, coaching in the state. So that's bound to make a difference as well.
Mike Henriksen tonight, good stuff. Calling All Sports is his show. South Dakota State Championships coming up soon. Mike Henriksen on Twitter.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have some great tournaments. Find him on Twitter at Mike Henriksen. It's easy to do. Mike, thanks for the time. I always appreciate it.
Nate, my pleasure. Tell Matt hello. Keep up the great work.
All right. Appreciate that. Mike Henriksen on tonight on Twitter at Mike Henriksen. The follow his show, Calling All Sports. Always good to get him here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And a shout out to in-studio producer Matt Kearney. Yes. Book it. Who's hot and who's not? We've got to do it. It's already time on a Monday, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. We will do it with the Super Bowl stat I don't think you've heard yet. There's going to be a lot of stats, right? The Super Bowl stat I don't think you've heard yet. It's the first time this has ever happened. And I'm going to tell you what jersey of what team sold the most here in South Dakota when it comes to lids. You know that company, Lids? What team jersey sold the most? This is bogus. Next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at foxsportsrapidcity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Have you hit a pothole or curb with your car? Does your vehicle need an adjustment or have an alignment, shock, or strut issue? Black Hills Tire is your one-stop shop for complete automotive service and repair in the Black Hills area. Trust your vehicle with no one else but Black Hills Tire. Contact Weston, Denise, and the guys at Black Hills Tire, where honesty, reliability, and safety is their top priority. Black Hills Tire voted the #1 shop for automotive repair and brake repair and tire store in the Black Hills. Ask about their free pickup and delivery. Black Hills Tire. Check them out online at blackhillstire.com.
With 2 locations in Rapid City, Pizza Ranch is ready to serve your family. Every Wednesday is Kids Day. This is the best deal out there with the best buffet in town. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult at the Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. And don't forget their senior special every Tuesday for $8.99. The Pizza Ranch Buffet. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch with 2 locations in Rapid City. And remember, daily online specials for carryout or delivery at PizzaRanch.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Wednesday's Kids Day, you heard it. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult. Pizza Ranch Buffet Wednesdays. It's open until 8. Dinner time at the Pizza Ranch. Who's hot category? Here's a Super Bowl stat you haven't heard yet. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I've got a stat for you. You can take this one to your Super Bowl party Sunday. This is the first time that the Super Bowl does not feature at least one team that was a 1 or 2 seed. So every Super Bowl has had a 1 or 2 seed in it. 1 or 2 seed. Not this one. First time that both teams are 4 seeds and lower. 4 seeds and lower. First time ever. That I did not know. A 1 or 2 seeds made it to the Super Bowl every time. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, this is bogus. Lids, they sell jerseys, they sell hats, they do all this. They put together their top-selling NFL team jerseys, okay? So people buying, Teddy Bridgewater jerseys. Boy, they're flying off the shelves, right? Teddy Bridgewater. They're just flying off the shelf. Not really. Top-selling NFL jerseys by state. In my Who's Not category, it is South Dakota. Our top-selling NFL jersey is the Miami Dolphins. I can't even say it. The Miami Dolphins? The Dolphins? We were the only state in the country that had the Dolphins as the top-selling jersey. Somebody tell me what's going on here. Did we go on clearance? I mean, we love sales in South Dakota. Did they go on clearance? Well, what was it? You could get a Tua jersey on clearance. We love it. The Miami Dolphins are the top-selling jersey in South Dakota. Give me a break. It's either Broncos or Vikings, okay? I mean, we all know that by now. It's either, but somehow, some way. I'm still trying to find the Dolphins fans. I know one here in Rapid City, and he listens to this show. So congrats, you just made the list. Who are the top-selling jerseys around us? The Broncos in Montana, the Broncos in Wyoming, the Broncos in Colorado. Should be the Broncos in South Dakota. See you back here tomorrow at 4, the Nate Brown